Hello again, everybody. It's a productive day today here. Right, let's get back into it. Back into what? Back into what, you might ask? Well, we're trying to create a test case for experimenting with GUI frameworks, basically, to find out whether we like them or not. And we're on to the 6th stream with Iced, I think, today, which is almost on par with Visio, which managed 7 before we gave up. But on the bright side, it's beat some of the other ones, which is good. And we haven't encountered any blockers yet. My initial experience feeling for it is that it's not nice, but it might do. Yeah. All right, so let's go back to the IDE. So the requirements that we're trying to fulfill are here. The link to this is in the video description, so you can open that up on YouTube. Yeah, and then open it up on GitHub, and then you can see the code. Where we're at the moment is this. Ignore the horrible styling of the tab bar and general overall horrid styling. It doesn't look pretty. And off stream, at the end of the last stream, I said I was going to have a go at doing the open button, which now works. So we can go open. It shows us a native file dialog, and we can open a file and we get a new tab for it, and we can do that again. Now at the moment I'm setting the directory for the native file dialog to be the current directory, so it doesn't remember the directory that you last used, which means that you have to navigate to the same place again, which is a bit annoying. If you don't do that, then it defaults to like the home directory of the user instead of the current directory. So it's sort of like the first time you open a dialog you want the current directory, and then when you close the dialog you need to remember the path that was open, so that when you open the file dialog again you use the same path. But we don't have that yet. It's not in the list of requirements. It's an annoyance which could be fixed in the future if we desire. But not right now. Not right now. So we can open image documents and text documents, and when we close the application and restart it, it reopens the same documents again. Yay. Additionally, if you try and open a document that is not of a supported type, so let's just go cargo.toml like this here, we do actually make it show an error message. This was quite a faff to do. Initially when I did this, the error message wasn't being displayed until you pressed the Alt key. Yes, I'll say that again because it's so random. The error message wasn't displayed until you pressed the Alt key. What was the solution? I thought the solution was going to be something like setting the parent window on the call to the create the new file dialog in RFD. But no, simply moving the code to an async task randomly fixed the problem. Okay. Whatever. Let's have a quick look at the code. So it all starts with the toolbar, and we've got a view function which creates toolbar, and when you press the open button it emits an open document message. This is handled by the toolbar update method, which turns it into an action that says you must open a document. This is then handled by the on toolbar message, and it then calls on toolbar open document. which then creates 3 filters, all text and image, using the file extensions, sets the current directory and says pick a file, and then if you pick a file, then you get an option path, which you can then pass that path to the open document, which then has to do stuff with that path. I'll go into that in a minute. And eventually you get a result. Opening document might fail, it turns out. So I added some error handling as well as part of this. The reason I added the error handling is because it can fail in a couple of cases. One, it might not be able to read the file, for instance. And 2, it might be an unsupported file extension. So yeah, so we've got some error handling, and it returns an open document error basically. And if you have a file that was attempted to be opened that couldn't be opened, then you get an error. And then we return a task that calls the show error async function, which then uses RFD to create a message dialog which works. But if you were to do this, right, instead of this, right, and then run it, this is what happens. You go, all right, I'm going to open a file, and then we're going to open that same file, cargo.toml, and my computer makes a beeping noise to tell me there's an error message, but my taskbar does not contain like a flashing little thing to say there's an error message, and the message dialog does not appear on the screen. But if I now press my Alt button on my keyboard, the dialog appears. What? Just computers. So then you go, okay, that's a bit strange. So you wrap it in an async function and return a task, which magically fixes the problem. Now, the reason I started creating an async task was because I went down the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole that I found, you know, there's quite a few rabbit holes around that you can follow, right? The rabbit hole that I found was on the RFD issue on the issue tracker that said there's no native support for RFD, but it might be easier when this is done. And then the other thing was like adding support to get the window handle. So I'm like, well, maybe I have to get the window handle and call set parent with a window handle. And in order to do that, I think you need access to the shell, which you might get if you're running a task or something. I hadn't fully got to the bottom of that, but at the point that I wrapped it in an async function, it magically started to work. So I didn't need to go down any further down this rabbit hole of trying to get the window tile from the shell, or whatever that is in ICE, because I don't really know. Anyway, yeah, so that was pretty weird. Like, you can't make this up. You can't make it up. Why does wrapping this in an async function cause the dialog to be displayed instead of doing it whereas doing it directly in here causes it not to be displayed and to be hidden until you press the Alt key? Maybe other keys make it appear, but I tried to press Alt-Tab, and then the moment I press Alt to do Alt-Tab is when it appeared. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I hadn't actually pressed Tab to switch to it. It appears as soon as you press the Alt key. So anyway, yeah. So we did that. Open a document. We added the open document errors. So let me show you that real quick. We got open document. Well, I convert all the paths into absolute things now, and that apparently can fail. We had a match statement here, which used the same image extensions, but I didn't want to specify all the supported image extensions twice, so I moved those into constants. And because I moved them to constants, that broke the match stuff because that was using the OR operand. I found some stuff to say that matching works on slices, but I couldn't get it to work. It might work if the slice is a literal slice or something, but it wasn't working for me. So then I just had to use if else instead of a match statement, and then the contains method instead. And then if it's not one of the supported types, then you get an error that shows you the extension. The error is implemented using, where is it? Using the this error dependency. And this error provides some wrappers around errors that allow you to convert them to strings and things like this. So we use that behavior. So, you know, yeah. That's what happened. Additionally, when you open a document, it activates the tab now. Previously, this key here was unused, and we added this activate method when we added the show home tab functionality. So I reused that activate method to use the key to activate the tab. Simply pushing it onto the list of tabs doesn't activate it. You have to specifically activate it, which I think is the behavior that you want, because you might want to open a bunch of documents and then show the first one or the last one. You might have different reasons for doing it. So, yeah. All right. So that's where we got to. So the thing we're missing now from the requirements is the new button functionality. Let's read what it says. It says, new button. When clicked, new tab is shown, seen below. Okay, so let's look at the new tab. A form is shown with 3 main controls, each with a label in a grid with labels on the left. Can we zoom this? No. Below the form is an OK button, should be present. And then you've got name, type, directory, yeah. And multiple new tabs are allowed. Title of the tab is new. State of each tab must be maintained when switching to a different one. When the OK button is pressed on the new tab, the tab name should be updated to show the name of the file. That is, and the ordering must be preserved. So the idea is that if you've got home and then file 1 and then new and then file 2, right? Because you pressed new but didn't press OK, and then you pressed open and then opened another document, that's what your tab ordering will be. So then if you go back to your new tab, which will be the 3rd tab, and you press OK on it, it shouldn't close that tab and add a new tab to the end. It should replace that tab's title with the name of the document and change the content of that tab to be the document. And it should be it should display the content, yeah. And there should be no visible removal insertion of any tabs. Only the title gets updated. That's the idea. Yeah. And obviously there needs to be sort of like sane form validation that goes along with this. Like, is it okay to press OK if you haven't filled in all the fields, for instance? I mean, it might be. You might pick default values for each of the things. And the directory might be set to the current directory or something. So you either provide sensible defaults which get used, and I don't think there is a sensible default for the name of the file, but maybe there is. The problem is if you put a default there and you create the file, then what happens if you press OK on it if the file is already there? Then you have to deal with file already exists errors and things like this. So you know, we'll see what we come up with. Right, let's make it work. Let's do it. Okay, so we've got a view and we've got a new button. So it all starts with a message. On press, toolbar message, and we're going to go new document, I think. And we're going to add that variant. Right, so open document is used here and also here. And we need to do the same thing here, where we convert it to an action, which is going to be new document. Sure. Right, and now that we've added this, the show home one is used here. So now we need to do the same kind of thing for the new document one, right? So let's do the same thing. On toolbar, new document, like this, I suppose. And we'll create a new method that looks like this one and lives underneath it, but it's called this instead. And we're going to say task none for now. And then it might compile. Hey, it compiles. Okay, so I guess we need to do something like the open document thing does. So the open document thing creates a new document of a particular kind, creates a key, inserts it into the documents list, which creates a key, then it creates a tab, and then it activates a tab. So we sort of need all this. Right. But we don't have the right kind of document yet. So let's go let document is a document kind of new document. I suppose. I mean, maybe. But in order to do that, we have to create a new document. So I suppose we go what? Arc new document default, maybe? And in order to do that, we're going to need to add it here. Pub mod new. And then the other documents look like this. They're a struct with a path and a handle and a sidebar and all the rest of it. But I don't think we have any of that kind of stuff yet. So let's just go pub struct new document with nothing in it. That should allow us to do that. Well, not quite. Hold on. Why is it doing that? Text has a text document, right? So new has a new document. The module has this. So why is my IDE failing to import this? I think my IDE is confused. It's a bit weird. Okay, let's just press compile and see what happens. Yeah, which is sort of what I expected. My ID is being weird. Well, it's supposed to be new. Yeah, right. Okay, now it's happy. So now we can add this enum variant. N document? I thought I typed in new document. Okay, it's found it there. Pretty weird. So now when we hit compile, we get two non-exhaustive patterns here. One is in the document tab where it tries to create a view. So we're going to need to borrow this same kind of stuff here, because this is going to create messages which are going to be new document messages. We don't have this yet. So we need one of these. Which means we need an enum. And then there's currently no messages. And we have to derive, because it's a message, debug and clone. Right? Why is it not picking it up? Did I not make it public? I didn't make it public. I always forget to do that. There we go. Right. So that was that one dealt with. But we don't have a view method on our document yet, so I guess we need to create it. So let's go import new document. Bun view takes a self, returns an element with an anonymous lifetime and a new document message. And I suppose we can go for now empty or space, horizontal space, and then into for now. Right, and then let's deal with the rest of this. So when we're creating labels for things, it's using the document path, but it's going to be different for this. So if the kind of document that we need to create a label for is a new document, then I think we simply return new. Oh dear. Fine. So I think we have to duplicate this in the end. You know, two of them return paths and the other one doesn't have a path yet because there is no path. ToString. I think we need that. And then this one, what does it need to do? When you update, it needs to I guess there's no messages yet. So we'll just do that. This one might actually have some messages. And then we've got another one of these. So when we update the list of open documents, this is supposed to be returning a vector of path paths. But that's no good. So I think we need to filter it out first, perhaps. And I suppose where's the race for the match thing? Is it like that? We need one more. That one. So filter's supposed to return a sum if it's these things or the others. I suppose. And I suppose this one becomes unreachable, right? And then here we don't have a document, we have a key in a document. So we need to do that. Yes, probably we can combine these into filter map, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So it's been silly. So if we've got a document kind of a new document with whatever, we go none. Otherwise, we go some document, maybe. Is that what we're supposed to do? A predicate, oh, it returns. Okay. It goes like that. Yeah, we could probably combine those. What's the problem? Expected arc document kind, but found document kind. Why? We've got a reference to a. Is it? What am I missing here? Let me just remove those from there and see what happens. Mismatch types. Found. Expected struct. Why? So we've got a reference to an arc of a document kind. Why does what? Why does like adding and removing stars and ampersand symbols always result in the exact same error message? It's kind of weird. what is happening here? Why? Do I want to dereference it? Expected struct. This has type this, but isn't that what I had earlier? Do I need to triple dereference it? What kind of madness is this? Like, what? Why would you need to do this? A triple dereference. Surely that's not what we're really supposed to be doing. I mean, if I do that, does that fix it? Cannot move out of a shared reference. So are we supposed to do this? Let's just follow this around a little bit and see what happens. This expression has type, so I mean, we could do that, but is it worse? Is there any way of making it suck less? I don't think so. Fix me, what is this triple deref madness? Okay, let's say, why is this triple deref madness required here? Or maybe avoid this triple dereference madness. That's pretty crazy. I mean, this was bad enough, but this. Sure, whatever. So we fixed that. What does it do now? So we should be able to create a new tab with nothing on it. Or we can. Look at that. Amazing. Look, there's nothing there. You know, progress. One thing at a time. We'll come back to this. Okay. Let's go work in progress. Sure. Okay, next. So on this new tab, we're supposed to display some things. Let's make the things on it and add them to it and then try and make it look less sucky. So the things that we want on it in the view are in the list. Right, new tab. We've got name, a type, and a directory. So I guess we need some kind of container. And inside that container, Well, maybe we don't need a container yet. I guess we need a row. And the first thing in this row is going to be a label which says name. And then the second thing in this row is going to be a text input editor. Is it called? It's called text input. Let's look at the module documentation. No, this is just a helper. So the documentation for this says you can have a placeholder. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Do you put ... in there? Is that what you're supposed to do? And then somehow you need to store the name. So you give it a reference to self.name. And then I suppose we go name string. Seems reasonable. And then let's say name row. And then let's make a column which is going to have a name row in it and then later some other things. Don't know why it thinks that's unused. That's a bit weird. Let's see if it compiles. Column takes no arguments. I think it does. Is it just that it needs more than one argument and the error message is wrong? Probably. Let's add the OK button. Let's just say OK button, in fact. What is this a button? And it's going to say OK on it. Why does it say column takes no arguments? Like, what column is it looking at? It's looking at standard lib. Do we have to import this one? There we go. Fine. Okay, let's run it and see what happens. New. Well, we've got a name with a name, which I can't edit it, and we've got an OK, which I can't click. Which I suppose is reasonable for the moment. So, I guess we need an update method on here. Which I suppose is what, on input, and then it sends out a new document message that what? That the name changed. And does this take a string? I guess it does. Yeah. So this isn't going to compile now because, oh no, it does compile. So the new document message is not really handled very much yet. Well, we need an update method, don't we? What do we do? The update method. So I suppose here we're going to need to say, well, what is this? Do we have the document? Document. Document tab has got a document kind, yeah. So what do we do here? I guess we do this. We need to get our document out of it and then do something with it, which is going to be the update method, right? Something like that. And it's going to what? Return a new document action. I don't know what it's going to be. Yet. Well, there's going to be no actions to start with. And then do we pass the event here? Maybe. And then what? And then I don't think the main application needs to know about anything that happens inside of the document update method at this point. So we can just ignore it for now and go document tab action none. Document isn't mutable. Oh, we're going to get problems now. I'm not sure how we can do this. I suppose these are all going to be unreachable. Right, it's in an arc. So this is the first time we need to try mutating one of these. Is this a ref cell? Or is it a mutex? Oh. Wait, what? Oh. Well, I think perhaps this is a ref cell here as well. And then what? Is that what we should be doing everywhere? Is this going to be a giant mess? Probably. Oh gosh. Oh, which things are we putting in where? Oh dear, we're confused now. So the document tab. What's arc ref cell of a document kind? And the new document wants what? I don't think we want that there. I think the new document. Where do we need the ref cell? The document kind. The thing that we want to mutate is the new document, right? So that's where we need this. Is that what we do here? We've got as ref? No. Is it get? Who knows how the ref cell thing works? Do you just call borrow on it? Who remembers? I don't remember this. It's been ages since I've looked at this. You call borrow on it. And now we're going to have 1,000 mismatched types. So that's not what we update. And then what have we got here? Document.borrow. Okay. And then what have we got here now? So now we've got something that we borrowed, and it's all doomed. Why can't we borrow this as mutable? Borrow, this is supposed to be borrow mut, right? Right, but now the only thing we have to solve is this. What's this trying to do? It's trying to create an element, and in order to do that, it needs to call view on the new document. But what is the value referencing a temporary thing? What is this? What's it trying to do? Who references what? What is going on here? What is the return value that's borrowed? Let's do this. Borrow is borrowed here. When is it? Why is it? Sometimes these messages are completely and utterly useless. There's something that's happening in here that's using some reference. And it's probably this. But I don't know. No. What are you supposed to do here? Should we be using a ref cell? What, yeah, oh my God. I thought this was going to be easy. No. What on earth are we supposed to do? I guess that is the same as doing this, right? Just to isolate some of the other code. So, yeah, what? I don't see where the borrow is even occurring. And I don't see where the reference is being taken. Returns a value referencing data owned by the current function. What data is owned by the current function? What value is referencing this data? They really need to get better with these messages. So I don't know what to do to fix this particular issue. So I'm going to try and avoid it by going a different way. So this new document thing has got a ref cell. We're calling borrow on a ref cell, so apparently that doesn't work. What else can we do with the ref cell? I don't think there's much we can do with it that allows us to get what we want. I mean, what do we get here? We've got as ref, we've got borrow, which gives us a ref. What we want is a reference to a new document. So we can take the thing out of the ref cell and then put a new one back in it, but that doesn't help. I don't see how that's going to help. What can we do? Let's try using a mutex instead. Is this even right? Let's just try using a mutex just to see what happens. Because now you get a mutex guard. Let's just see what happens here. Yeah, same problem. Well, not quite the same problem. Yeah, what's this now? I don't think this is going to fix the problem at all. And we get the same problem. So, ref cell if it's on the same thread, mutex is if it might be on a different thread. Either way, you still get problems. So how are we supposed to do this? See, I don't see where the problem is coming from. I knew this was going to be a pain. I knew it. The moment you try and add state into one of these tabs, everything just goes all pear-shaped. Oh, I should have tried this earlier. Like, what? So look, this new document in the arc here clearly is not right. So let's just remove that for a moment and then just compile it and go from there and try and deal with it another way. Right, so the problem we've got is that we need to call update on this so that we can do this. Let's continue writing the update method and then just go from there, because maybe it will help clarify some thoughts. So if the name is changed with a name, we go self.name is name. Right, that's what we need to do. That's why we're trying to do it. But we can't get a mutable reference to the document because it's inside an arg. So if I put a mutex there, I get failures with creating the view. If I put a ref cell there, I get the same problem. What are you supposed to do to fix this? We need something that, we need some kind of reference that is a shared reference. You just end up going around in circles, I'm sure. That's not going to help. I mean, I've got a mutable reference to an arc, but you can't borrow that as mutable, right? Self.document kind is this. Should the document kind have an arc in it at all? Let's try putting a mutex here instead. What? Lock and unwrap there. Then that gives us a mutable reference to this. And we've got 1,000 things, and the problem, we're still trying to fix this. But this document thing here is currently one of these. Let's just make it not be one of those. And let's see where this takes us. So a new document is just a new document. Let's try this. And then we've got a bunch of mismatched types here because he wants an arc of this. So the document tab is probably broken. So let's say it's an arc mutex of this. And deal with the fallout. What? Arc new mutex new documents is is that really right? No. Which bit was wrong? The document arc is supposed to be arc mutex document kind. Wait, what? Is that right? There's too many arcs, too many mutexes, too many objects, and I can't remember which is which. The document tab has the document kind, which has got a mutex on it. So in order to put one of these in here, it definitely needs to be this way around. Right. So the document kind that we call here needs to be mutex here. Right. But the list of documents which I suppose down do need to be modifiable, and we need to hold multiple references to them, also need to be in the documents list as mutable. So, okay, then what? And then we just keep putting mutexes everywhere. Gosh. We've got a mutex guard. Do we need to dereference it like this? Yes. Documents iter. And we need a double deref here. But this can't be, this is an arc mutex. Was that right before? Document. Okay. Right, there we go. Right, then what? Then this was where we had the problem area. So let's see what we can do here. So maybe we can go. I don't know. Oh, and then we've still got this same problem. Did I just get rid of the problem then? Was that what the problem was all along? Was that I had a reference here? Maybe. Let's just... Right. So we can't... Yeah, no, that's a fail. We've just got mismatched types now. It wasn't that at all. So do I need to... do that? Yeah, and then we're getting the references back again, and we're going to get those probably. Found enum document kind. Is it just that now? Yes, but then we've still got this problem. This error message is useless. So we didn't fix anything. Of course we didn't. Let me look at this for a second. You get a mutex guard. What else can you do with a mutex? Not a hell of a lot. You can call lock and you get a lock result, or you can call get mut and you get that. But you can't move it out of it. So the only thing you can get is a reference to a document kind. Right. Is it one of these things where you do this? No. No. What are you supposed to do here? How are you supposed to construct a view which has a reference to something which is behind a mutex? You can't, can you? Right? Because I don't see how you can do it. I mean, it doesn't really matter if I comment this out because it's still calling dot view, which, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the problem is coming from still. I don't know if it's because I'm doing this, but when I comment this out, I still get the same message because the method signature hasn't changed over here, but what was this before? Oh, hi Thorn, how's it going? Yeah, I realise the lifetime is the problem on the lock here, because you get a mutex guard which has got a lifetime of the method that you're using in the scope that you're using it in. And it's still not clear to me what the into method is doing, but it's certainly creating some reference, because if it wasn't, then you wouldn't need a lifetime. So he says it might work if you're accessing the mutex inside of the view. Yeah, but I need to unwrap it to find out what kind of document it is before I can pass this thing, to a view method. Like, I can't call this method. I'm failing to see how to restructure this code to work around this issue. So, wait a second. So, if this new document right, so oh, this is a mess. So are you saying that instead of doing what we were doing before, document, oh no, I don't even remember where all the things are. Where's the document tab? So if we take the document tab and make that just a reference to a document kind, and the document kind, this one needs to be modifiable, so it needs some state. And you're saying use this mutex inside the view. I thought I tried that already, but maybe I didn't. We'll try that. And we'll take some of these off again. So what am I supposed to do here? Right, I get this problem now instead. Or where's the problem now? One too many? Not enough? Let's delete the lock unwraps. God. Delete this one. I still don't know. I still don't understand what I'm supposed to do here. And then we've got a double deref here. That was that one. So basically, I can't work out how to implement view and update. I can't call these methods on something because it lives inside here. So that's never going to work. So right, if we don't do that, right, we can't borrow the arc as mutable. Right, so I can't call this update method, which needs to be able to mutate itself. Now, does it really need to be able to mutate itself? That's the question. If we took a non-mutable self and then somewhere in here we did something dumb like new document state and move this name into this and then put a mutex here and then I don't know, what does this want? self.state.lock.unwrap.name. I don't know, can we just clone it here at this point? I mean, is this still a problem? Probably. You can't create a default for this. Fine. Oh, it's because I didn't implement default for this, wasn't it? Derive default. That probably would work now. All the document variants would contain own values not arced. Yeah, it's possibly. I don't know whether using arcs there was a good idea to start with. I've got no idea. And then we get this again still. Which apparently compiles. Let's just go work in progress 2 since it actually compiles. It compiles, but is it right? Arcs are not the preferred solution. Passing down reference with lifetimes of A is preferred because no lifetime. So when you say passing down references to things, let's just look at this. Where's the code? Where is it? I forget. Don't remember where anything is on tab message. We're supposed to go tabs update. This was it. And then if we've got a tab kind message, then he delegates the tab method. We still haven't done this one. Let's just add that in while we're here. Oh no, we have got that one. This one. So I'm trying to get my head around what you said. Passing references to arbitrary, not that bit. Arcs not the preferred. Passing down reference are passing down. But I don't have. Okay, I'm gonna. What happens if you take these arcs out of here? Right, owned values. Because I don't remember why we added those at the moment. There was a reason, otherwise it wouldn't have been done. But is that, maybe that was the source of the problem. So we don't need those there. Three, remove arcs from the document kind, was it? Who remembers? Too many files, project growing, the searching problem has begun, the hunting problem from document kind. Right, let's just see if it runs or crashes first. So new. We can change stuff. So it doesn't crash, which is good. Did we get anywhere useful? So the problem we had was we want to really avoid this state thing here, really. So let's try undoing that again. Now that we've removed the arcs. To see if that is sort of the source of the problem. What's the problem here now? Self.name. Well, yes. And then it says can't borrow document is mutable because it's not mutable. But because this is an owned thing now, maybe that works now. Can't borrow data in an arc as mutable. Self-document kind. Yeah, you see the document tab needs to be able to modify itself. The view method was happy though. Like we're not getting any issues with this. Let's see what else we can do. So self.document kind is currently a thing that's in an arc. Now, the idea is that the application is supposed to maintain the state and the list of documents, and the document tabs are not supposed to own the documents. So is this really where we're supposed to have the mutex? Let's put it back in here for a minute and then deal with 1,000 errors. But the one I'm trying to fix, yeah. And then does that just bring the error back again? Yeah. So we can't do that. Yeah, I think you might be missing one of the key things that I want to try and do, which is multiple tabs updating the same document. This, oops, requirement. Multiple tabs for the same document, right? Which means that the app needs to own the documents, not the tabs. Which is why the tab document UI structure has documents like this, which arguably these don't need to be mutable here, I don't think, but they need to be able to mutate themselves internally. So the new document content, each of the new tabs, they need to be unique. It's more the image and the text documents that need to be shared. So that's why, to be clear, that the tab document UI has tabs and documents separate. And the document kind wait a second. I think in one of the frameworks I implemented this slightly differently. But there we are. in one of the frameworks, I had a document kind, and it was an enum of a document, a tab. What did it have? It was either a form, or it was a text document, or an image document, or some kind of document. Wait a second. Yeah, and it's probably all wrong, actually, now that I'm thinking about this. I think this is wrong. I mean, it's possible that my design is completely wrong, but I'm still going to get the same problems when I try and introduce state to the text and image documents, regardless of where the form is currently placed. So it's kind of moot. Yeah. Let's roll back these. Let me think about the tabs for a second. I'm just trying to work out how to transition the tab from one type of tab to another type of tab. So no, I think this is still correct. But perhaps the document tab either has a document kind or it has a form, as opposed to putting the document inside document kind, because it's not really a document at this point. I think I might have to dwell on this a little bit. Document kind is doing double duty as dispatching enum and a state enum when your goal only requires to be decoupled, it seems. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't looked at how you did it in yours yet. I'm trying to avoid looking at what you did. Because I'm trying to learn myself. So Thorne's been creating a gist, trying to follow the same requirements as mine as we progress through this, just as a learning exercise for himself. And it's been very interesting, the resulting conversation that's come out of this. Yeah, I have a feeling that adding new document to the document kind was incorrect. But like I say, it doesn't really fix anything. Let's just compile this for a second. Because I'm going to have the same problem in the image document. So for instance, when I add the, I don't know, the coordinate, let's just put two values in here. Let's create a struct, pub struct coordinate. and it's going to have X. I know it's pixels, isn't it? U32 probably. And then if I add a coordinate here called last clicked, which is going to be an option of a coordinate, right? When I make this work, I'm going to run into the same issue when I try and update this. Am I not? Oh, you don't do that. Why? If I have what, a message, because I haven't got an update method on here yet either. Let's try and do this just to see what falls out of the wash. And it's going to take a message which is going to be a image document message. And what does it return? An image document action. Like this for now. Then what? And if we were to image clicked, and we're supposed to get an X and a Y from here. And then we store the coordinate, right? Oh, what have we got here? What's happened? Debug do. Oh, coordinate needs clone on it as well, I suppose. Does it really? I mean, okay. But we don't ever call this method yet. So where we dispatch messages, somewhere in here, is it? I forget. No, that's action. On tab message. This one. This one. We need to do the same thing here, right? Let's fix this, because this is crazy. So we don't care about that one anymore. And if we are a document kind text document, and we've got a text document message, then we do this. But we need another bracket. There. And if we are a image document and we get an image document message, then we do this. And let's just go none for now. And then if we are one of these, then we do this stuff. But we need a bracket. And then we're going to add this one to say unreachable. Update is supposed to take a new document message, but is that right? New. Oh, I've got these in the wrong way around. There we go. That's slightly more sane now. So we need to do the same thing, which is basically determine the action by doing something with the image document, which is borrowing it as mutable, which you can't do because document kind is in an arc. So yeah, we get the same problem there. So these can't take a mutable self, and therefore all the state has to be wrapped in something. And this approach might work. I don't know whether it's good, but at least having two examples of the problem might be useful. We're not generating these events yet, but we don't really care yet. At some point we can. That might work. Oh. That's where we need the mutex. And then we need to do this on this, which it can do. And then here we have to futz around instead. And everything's fine. Let's just say store last clicked in image document state. Last clicked. Coordinate. And I suppose while we're here, for good measure, we need to poke the view and add a sidebar item. How's this going to work? God, it's going to be a nightmare. I don't fancy doing this today. I've already done quite a lot today. Because now we need a dynamic sidebar item which needs to look inside the state. Oh, yeah. Because this new method is only ever called once, right? So I'm wondering whether this sidebar is some kind of view thingy, which and we don't add things to it here, but we add them here maybe, and then the view method has got access to the current state. Maybe. Let's delete this from here and see what happens. Perhaps we don't need to do it like this. We can just go sidebar.view like this. Here we have self, that's okay. So then at this point we could add another sidebar item for the last clicked coordinate with the same key as this, I suppose. And then we don't care about the whole wrapping that's going to ensue, but at least we can access the state, lock it, unwrap it, get last clicked out of it. And maybe use format to do it in debug mode, because it's an option as well, right? Do that. Oh, it's supposed to be the word item. That might work. Oh. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Where? Which sidebar view? This one. Maybe these need to have a what lifetime are these going to be? I don't know. Where's the other lifetime coming from? It'd be nice if it showed us, wouldn't it? This error message is the most unhelpful message in Rust. Like, and even if you were to bring up the help for it, it doesn't tell you what local variable properly. It says sidebar is borrowed here on line 69. This one. So what lifetime is this? Like, if it showed you the different lifetimes, it might be more useful, right? But you just got no idea. And you just left wandering around the code guessing. This lifetime A is used for this element here. Where is this lifetime coming from? What? Is it because the longest lifetime in the sidebar is this static thing? It's not stored. I haven't. I removed it from the storage. Thorn is asking, where is a sidebar used in sidebar view constructed stored? It's only constructed in the view method. This is where it's constructed. And then it's shadowed here, and then it gets essentially thrown away. Wait a second. I see what you're asking. So perhaps if I put that back in here. Right. Create the sidebar like I did before, but don't add anything to it at this point. Should I be just updating the value in the sidebar item maybe instead? Perhaps that's what I need to do. It's possible. Thanks for the hint. I suppose I could sort of clear the sidebar items out of here, but I can't call add item on it because this isn't mutable. So I suppose if I put the sidebar in the state, because the items in the sidebar need to change. I mean, they don't really. You just need to access things from the sidebar and then just call toString on them, but you know, maybe we could do that. because I thought views aren't supposed to have any side effects, so I don't think this is what we're supposed to do at all. I think the update method is what needs to futz around with the sidebar items. So let me poke that. State dot get dot no, not lock. Yeah, that's probably what we're supposed to be doing. This one is supposed to be also updating the sidebar, I think. Well, we don't really want to add. Yeah, oh dear. Okay, I suppose let's go self.side. Oh no. Oh gosh, no. Let's go. Let's try doing this. I know there's a better way we can do this. Why does it say this is deprecated? I haven't even implemented clear on sidebar. Pub fun clear. Oh, I'm being dumb. Self dot items dot clear. Is this on VEC? Yeah, why doesn't the IDE auto-complete that for me? Now it says it's not deprecated. My IDE's been a bit funny right now. Yeah. Still get the same issues with that. Why don't we have similar issues with the other thing? Yeah. And then we've still got issues with this, with the sidebar. But view on here, yeah. Still get the same issue. Additionally, there's not going to be anything in the does update get called once, like ever? Like, I'm only going to get if things clicked on it. This is all manner of dumb. This is. Let's just oh God. Because really what I need is a sidebar update item and a thing. I was trying to avoid having to do that. I suppose we'll just do it. We still haven't fixed the other problem though. So we've got a sidebar. We need to mutate it. Get rid of the clear. We'll change the sidebar. what's the problem here? We don't have the path yet. See, I need dynamicness going on here instead. What do I use here? A closure instead of this? I don't know. Do we want a closure here? Where we go value, and do we even need anything here? We just want to have something that returns something. And then do we do that here as well? And then this thing. I just don't want to go anywhere near it. No. No, I'm not doing that. I don't have any state yet. There's nothing to write here. I guess we're just gonna say none. And then somewhere here we update the sidebar item. Because we've got an add item, but we want to go update item. No. The more I use this framework, the more I hate it. So if I want to update it, I have to say the thing that I want to update. Which is this. And then depending on the type of the sidebar item that was added, because there could be multiple different types, we have to do something. Let's just go foo.toString for now. Well, I suppose we've got this coordinate. I just want to see what this would look like. It's just going to be bad. So we're going to have to iterate over the list. Key value, because all the values aren't going to be strings. It's going to depend on the type of the sidebar item, right? So probably this needs to be something else, but I don't know what it would ever be. Maybe you can call get item and then you call update on that. In fact, let's try doing that. Let's call get item instead. And instead of doing that, we'll go unwrap dot ups dot set text Maybe something like that. And then this is going to return an optional sidebar item. Huh? Never going to work. Still fail on this. Sidebar item. I'll write them. Oh gosh. See, how could you possibly write this? I mean, you might need to change the type of these things. So instead of doing get item mut, let's go update item again. And instead of doing that, we'll pass it a closure. Oh. Because a sidebar item has a string, right? No, it has a string reference. And it's got an FM once, which returns nothing, but takes a sidebar item. Oh, is it FN mut? Is it that? I always forget. And let's just for because I can't be bothered to implement it properly, self.items. The first one. Update fun with the item. Get mut 0. Oh yeah. Something like that. So this needs to be wrong now. We've got an update item. And we pass it a closure. In which we go item.set text to be this. What a faff. We don't have set text on this item yet. Why doesn't it know what this is either? Now, we still haven't fixed that other problem anyway. We're still doomed. Why is this so confused? Is it really a fun mutt or is it like that? I'm trying to remember what the syntax for this is. Expected din fun mutt. Does it really expect din fun mutt? Is it just a fun? I always forget how you're supposed to do these closure things. What the signature of a method that takes the closure looks like. Why can't I never remember this? Why is this so confused? Type must be known at this point. But we've specified the type here. Have we not? We've got a mutable self, we've got a key, and we've got an update function which returns nothing. Like, why? I suppose we need to go if let sidebar item text foo. Everything's foo, right? We're supposed to do this perhaps. And then why does it think this is a string? Because sidebar item is an enum. Because I'm a Muppet. And we don't have set text on there. So I suppose this is key label value, and then we say value is this. What's the problem? So is it like this? Oh dear, I'm going mad. I'm going mad. I think I've reached the end of my usefulness today. I'm making too many mistakes doing all this stuff. I probably need a sleep or something. Well, this is a mutable reference to one of these. And then do we do this? Still got a mismatched type. Expected din fun, but found a closure. But isn't... Why am I not being able to... Why can't I remember this? Rust. method. It'll come to me, I'm sure, in a minute. For closure. What are we supposed to do? I want the inline version. Is that really what it's supposed to be? It's a fun mutt. Oh, is it because I'm being dumb? Probably. Is it really like this? But what? I don't want this. Yeah. Not that. Right, so there's this unboxed closure version of it, and there's one which looks something like the other one. Yeah, what was wrong with that? What was wrong with my method signature? This is what I was doing. I must be going mad. I think I'm going mad. I've forgotten how to write Rust. I think I've officially gone mad. Okay, I'm just going to write this in the other way. F. Like, is there something stupid that I'm doing? I could have sworn that you could put them in line before, but like how do you do the inline version of that? Not entirely sure. Anyway, we've still got this problem here. I'm just going to call it a day. Fail work in progress. Fail to compile work in progress. And we're just going to do a commit and push this up, and that's it. We're going to be done, I think, because I ain't solving that problem right now. No, not happening. So we don't know what to do to fix this, basically. We can't create a sidebar which has got some state in it that needs to be updated. But, you know, at least we can update the value in the sidebar, I suppose. Don't know what to do. If anyone following the stream is has got any ideas, then please let me know. Thorn, yes, I've had many years doing OOP code, and I'm failing to unlearn how to do OOP stuff and then convert my brain into a way that lets me do things in Rust. This is one of my fundamental problems with trying to do stuff in Rust. I've read things like Rust for Java programmers, for instance, right? And there's various other tutorials around. To help you go, don't do this, do this instead. So I'm mindful that all this stuff exists, but I still haven't found anything that my brain fully understands. Like don't do this, do this. If you're used to doing this, don't. Do this instead. That's kind of the information that I need. I have done quite a lot of work in Scala. And that was very useful because in Scala you basically just go, what do I want to do? Well, let's look for a method that's got the signature that you want, which is, you just look for a transformation basically. And that was very useful when I started writing Rust code. But the Scala stuff that I was doing, there was no state. Yeah, for a lot of it, it was just transition from like a user input to like a web page, and it was just transitions all the way through the entire thing. But as soon as you try and add state to the mix, anything you try and do in Scala comes sort of like undone. And this is the same problem I'm having with Rust. As soon as you get to do with state, it all goes pear-shaped. If you're just doing fully functional stuff, transformation, then you're okay. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'll have a look at this again a bit more because it has been updated since I last looked at this stuff. I'll make notes. Failing to work with state. Same old problem as with all other frameworks so far. Just all of them. I've had problems with this, all of them, for doing exactly the same thing. Maybe refresh on how to unlearn OOP style coding. Oh, wasn't there a part 2 as well? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Alright, that's it. I've had enough for today. I'm going home, that's what I'd say. Failing test at the end of the day. Screw it, I'm going home. Thing is, I'm already home. Righto. So, just remember, folks, it's only software. How hard can it be? We'll find out on the next one. See you later.